Hi, today we're going to talk about the basics of creating a Google form for the sake of making a quiz or for a survey. So I'm in my Google Drive. To get to Google Forms, the easiest way is to go up to where it says New in the upper left corner there and click one time. If I scroll down, I don't see the word Forms here anywhere, so I just go to More, and as I hover over More, up comes this second drop down, and there are my Google Forms. I'm going to click once on that. Up comes our blank Google form. I'm going to call this Google Form English Practice. And practicing our food vocabulary. So it is nice to have a name for your form. This is what the person taking your quiz or your survey is going to see, and it's nice to have a description. This description could be a lot longer, could include who the contact if they have questions, whatever, depending on what you need them to do. Notice if I go up to where it says Untitled Form, this is actually where the name of the document is going to be. So this is what is seen by the person taking the quiz, but this is what's going to show up in my Drive list. So sometimes it's helpful to have the name be something a little different because maybe you have a lot of forms in there that are called something similar. But just so you know, if you click one time up there, it will automatically take whatever this is. And then if I want to add something to it, I'm going to say May 18. Okay, so now I know when I come back and see that in my Drive that this was the May 18th practice. For the person taking the quiz, that doesn't really matter because they got it whenever they got it. Okay, so we're going to start off with an untitled question. Notice that this is the default. Whenever you start a quiz, it's going to be purple. There's going to be one question in there. The default is going to be multiple choice. If you click on this little arrow, you're going to see all your different question types. Google will also guess sometimes what your question type is, so you can always manually change that, but just know that that's how that works. So I'm going to start off by, the question is, which one is an apple? Okay, and I'm actually, just to kind of take us to a slightly advanced place, here are my options. So option 1, if I want to, I can make this an image instead of words. So you could type words in here, or you can click on this little icon that means image. I'm going to search. You may have an image in your head already. I'm going to look up apple. And I'm going to take this image. Okay. If you had done the search earlier and you would have had all these images in your own folders, then you could have just taken them from there. Okay, so this is option 1. We're going to add an option 2, and again we're going to do another image. So we're going to make this one a cabbage. Let's see. Oh, cauliflower is fun. Let's go with this one. So it's putting the images in there for me. And I'm actually going to go ahead and name these A and B. We'll add one more, C, and we're going to add another image. And this time we'll put in a tomato. Don't make it too confusing, but I want another red fruit. All right. Okay, so we have 3 choices there. I want to make this question required, means that people cannot not answer before they can submit. Now, down here we have a couple of other icons. This is our trash icon if I wanted to delete this question. This is our copy question, which is helpful if we were going to make a question that's very similar to this, right? So for the sake of showing you that, I'm going to click on that. What's nice here is, for example, we change this to, which one is a cabbage? And we might even take this guy out and add in a carrot. I want a single carrot. Interesting, difficult to find. Let's go back up. All right. Okay, so now we have our 3 images, and the question was very similar. So just save me time, not have to change everything around, right? If you wanted to make a new question that was a completely different type, then you can always click on this plus sign. So that always leads to making a new question. The copying questions is really just for when you have a question that's very similar. So I'm going to go ahead and click plus, and then we're going to scroll down. So here's our new question type. Notice that whenever you click the plus sign, the new question is going to show at the bottom. And I just realized that I want to ask people what their name is. So I'm going to ask, what is your name? Notice that Google guessed that this is a short answer for me, which is actually true. But the downside here is that I actually want this to be the first question. So if you'll notice, whenever I click into a question, this question is the live question right now, and I know that because there's a blue line down the side and there's a shadow below it. If I click into this question above it, it now has the blue line and the shadow. When I have this question live, I can click on these 6 little dots that allow me, and you can see I have a 4 pointy arrow there. That usually indicates you can move. So if I click here, I can pull this all the way to the top, because I do want this to be the first question. Okay, so now I have my 3 questions, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I want to take you up here to see that we have these icons across the top. The color palette, for example, right now the default with every form is purple, as is the logo for Google Forms, so that's helpful to remember. But I don't want my forms to all be purple. I like to have some variety there. I could, because this is about fruits and vegetables so far, maybe green would be fun, but I'm actually going to go out here and see if we can find something even more fun. So we have work and school, illustrations, birthday, food and dining. Let's see what we have here. Let's use this one. Now you have a lot of other options here. Other is more graphic than illustrative. And you can also upload photos from your own Google albums. So if you wanted a picture of the class or something like that, you could do that from there. But I've clicked on this one. I'm going to hit select. And now you'll see it changes the whole color scheme. And if I scroll up, you get a little bit more of the picture. Okay, so that was this paint palette, right? Now we have the preview. This is actually going to open another tab and let me see what the quiz will look like from the student's perspective. So this is the quiz that they're going to receive, right? You can see it changed where they put the fruits and vegetables, a little easier to look at. And then there's submit at the end. And I will say for multiple choice, I would normally do 4 choices, but I didn't have the wherewithal to do that. And notice what I see here is that I did manage to make these required. So I have this nice little red asterisk, but I do want to require the name. So I'm actually going to go back up here and you can see I have the tabs are still open. If I click back on the other tab, let's go ahead and remember to make this required, which is another reason why I like the copy questions often, because otherwise I forget to make my required ones. So that was our palette, our preview, and now I want to go to settings.